What is up, guys? It's Mateo's 2020 Politics here, and today I'm of course going to be talking about Super Tuesday Part 2. So, on the night of March 10th, we all saw it, the people who are into politics, and we saw that Joe Biden absolutely dominated. And Bernie Sanders got one state. I think he got North Dakota. He got North Dakota, which was a firehouse caucus, which means that it's a Democratic Party run caucus. And Joe Biden won every single other state. I don't want to go through it. It was just so many. It's kind of depressing, honestly, to me. And as of now, Washington still hasn't come in. And it's at like 78% of precincts reporting. And Bernie Sanders is actually narrowly behind. He was narrowly in the lead by 0.2%. But I think Joe Biden will win that state. And it's upsetting because, Idaho, Michigan, Washington, these are all states that Bernie Sanders won in 2016, and now he's going to lose them because he isn't as successful in 2020 as he was in 2016. My theory for that is because of the fact that, Warren was splitting the vote pretty aggressively with Bernie Sanders, and she just dropped out, so Warren supporters are kind of like still thinking about who they will support. And notice, because of the Warren supporters I know, you would think that they're on the Bernie train now, but they actually aren't. They're kind of thinking about it. So, the support hasn't fully gone to Bernie Sanders. We should wait over time to see what actually happens. And also, we have to consider the fact that the establishment is really behind Joe Biden. We had people who judge drop out, Amy Klobuchar drop out, and who else? Michael Bloomberg drop out, and they all endorsed Joe Biden for president of the United States in 2020. And so they're trying to all endorse Joe Biden. It's really helping them. They're seeing that all the establishment, the whole establishment, is unifying behind Joe Biden. All the establishment, just unifying behind him and supporting him all the way. People who have already dropped out, Kamala Harris, Beto O'Rourke, they endorsed Joe Biden. And yet Elizabeth Warren, for some reason, refuses to endorse Bernie Sanders. I still don't get why. I might make a video on her refusing to endorse him, but for some unknown reason, Elizabeth Warren has refused to endorse Bernie Sanders for president. And I think that has messed with Bernie's campaign, because it means that Warren supporters feel less encouraged to support Bernie. But of course, that isn't the only factor for why Bernie isn't doing too well. He also isn't doing too well because, as I mentioned previously, the establishment is really unifying behind Joe Biden. They're endorsing him and everything. And I was somewhat depressed, and when I say depressed, I mean I was just sad. Of course, I'm not misusing the word. So I was really sad, or depressed, as I just said, about Bernie Sanders kind of getting destroyed on Super Tuesday Part 2. And I'm being frank, he was destroyed. He only got one state. Joe Biden got like 5 or something. He totally dominated. So, do I have hope for Bernie Sanders in 2020? I don't think so. I don't think he's going to win. And I don't think he'll drop out. People think he will. But I think what he'll do is he'll do what he did in 2016. He'll pull a Bernie 2016 card, in which he'll stay until the convention, not because he can win. Not because he can win. He knows he's going to lose, but to just go out fighting. He wants to go out fighting for the cause of populism, instead of just dropping out. So, if he does that, I'll still support him all the way. I don't think he's going to win, but I do still support him. Also, a third reason I forgot to mention, which is for why Joe Biden is doing so well and Bernie is doing somewhat poorly, is because of the fact that we know what voters are like. When a candidate does well or badly in a certain state, debate, or other situation, their support goes down, or up, or plateaus. So because Joe Biden is doing so well, his support continuously adds on and on. He gains more support, because when somebody surges, people see they're surging, and then it adds on to the surge. So Joe Biden's unstoppable right now. He's, as of now, at like 53% or something in polls. And Bernie is at like 35%, so Bernie's actually higher than he's ever been before, ever, but he's way behind Joe Biden, and he didn't do too well on Super Tuesday Part 2, and it's sad because, once again, many of the states that went for Bernie in 2016, he lost to Joe Biden. Quote me now, if Joe Biden wins the nomination, he is going to lose against Donald Trump. How did I know this? Look at Hillary Clinton. We already got the first test subject. We got establishment test subject number 1, Hillary Clinton in 2016. She lost against Trump. She got the popular vote, but she still lost the Electoral College. So now we're going to run another centrist who, at least with Hillary Clinton, She was more sophisticated. She knew what she was saying. She was quick to her feet. But Joe Biden, oh my gosh, Joe Biden, he stumbles over his words. He stutters. He has gas. I'm sorry to say this part, but it's obviously he sounds very tired all the time. And it has to do with age, but he does sound tired of debates and in general in speeches. So he's just like Hillary Clinton, except downgraded, honestly. Let's not forget the fact that he's an elderly white man, so that's less inspiring already than I guess a middle-aged white woman. Although Hillary Clinton was in her 60s, so I mean a woman in her 60s is more inspiring than a man in his late 70s. So already the whole identity politics plays a role, but also just considering the fact that Joe Biden has gas, he stumbles over his words, just really bad gas. He's going to lose against Trump, guys. Unless something really big comes out, like some big Trump scandal, Joe Biden's going to lose. I'm like 99% sure Joe Biden will lose in 2020 if he gets a nomination. And, you know, people like to blame it on Bernie because they like to say, oh, the Bernie supporters were just too stubborn. They only would support Bernie, nobody else. That's why we lose. Well, actually, it's kind of your fault because your policies do not appeal to the majority of Americans. You're not going to get you're not going to get out all the voters to support you. You're not going to have high turnout. Bernie can win with high turnout because he's a populist. He has new ideas. And Bernie does well because he gets these disaffected voters who feel like they've been abandoned by his system. Joe Biden can't. He's not offering anything new, really. So he's going to just turn off a bunch of voters, make turnout low, and Democrats need turnout, as Bernie says, to win. So, yeah, guys, summary of the video. Bernie Sanders got kind of wrecked on Super Tuesday Part 2. I'm pretty sad about that. I don't think he can win in 2020, but I'll still support him. And if Joe Biden wins the nomination, he will lose against Donald Trump. I'm pretty sure that will happen.